Thank you for tuning in to our YouTube series today. Risco is dedicated to assisting its clients and its partners through this difficult time in our country. I'm happy today to have our two account managers, Jerry Onofre and Alfredo Enriquez. It's going to help me through this series. So today we're going to talk about how COVID-19 is affecting insurance. One of the things that need not be said that we're in a financial crisis. Insurance is part of the financial industry. This is kind of an interesting slide. Real unemployment soars past 20%. There's almost, at least this was as of last week, 26.5 million people lost their jobs, which means that insurance will be impacted in premiums. But I'm happy to say that I believe our industry has done a very good job of addressing this issue, and we're going to talk about it today, how the insurance industry is addressing COVID-19 and the coronavirus. Let's talk about claims first. We're going to talk about claim coverage, insurers in handling the claims. We're going to talk about the requirements that have been set up by the Department of Insurance for consumers. Number one, the biggest issue that we're seeing is COVID-19, is coronavirus, is that a covered loss? Liberty Mutual, one of the insurance giants, was one of the first companies to really address this issue without sidestepping it. And the policy is very clear. If we look at on the first bullet, it says our standard property offering does not cover loss of business income resulting from virus, bacterium, and microorganisms that induce or can induce physical distress, illness, or disease, or by contamination. And that's the key right there. Second bullet, based on the policy form language, our intent is not to cover losses of business income caused by the result of COVID-19 or any other virus. And this is typical of most policies. I would say 99.5% of the policies out there have this exclusion. Companies did not determine that COVID-19, which is an influenza, would be covered. And that is why what you're going to see is denial of coverages. Now, what we're also seeing is insurers have denied this, but restaurants, one of the industries most affected, are fighting back. And what we see is a lot of them have formed what we call class action lawsuits to petition companies to pay for that. So the restaurant lobby and the lawmakers are suing the insurers to get a payout for COVID-19. So we're going to see a lot of litigation in this area. The other interesting thing happening here is our insurance commissioner in California has been very proactive. He's asking insurance companies to fairly review and investigate all business interruption claims during this disaster, not just to rubber stamp a denial. So what we're seeing from carriers is they are taking the claim, accepting the claim. They're not, but they're not necessarily, in many cases, they're holding it open, but they're not. Eventually, we'll see a denial, but they're not just closing out the claim. So I think the insurance commissioner wants to take a wait and see approach. The next thing that we see from the commissioner's office is that they are making sure that the migrant workers in California are covered. So because of the pandemic, some of the migrant workers are working essential jobs that are helping us get through this pandemic. And the insurance commissioner wants to make sure that there's the regulations that workers' comp and benefits are for all workers in California, regardless of immigration status. So that was a new memorandum sent by the insurance commissioner. So now we're going to switch over to Jerry Onofre. He's going to talk about the COVID-19 payment and deferrals and discounts that our industry is offering the consumer. Jerry, good to have you. I want to hand over the baton and let's talk about some of the different provisions that we see here in California?
Yes, so the COVID-19 payment deferrals and some discounts that we've been seeing offer some assistance in managing your insurance premiums in light of the circumstances. The uh, notice released on March 18th is a real important read for all of us. It was issued to address the insurance companies to provide a 60-day grace period, and that allows the some help to all policyholders, to insureds, to avoid cancellation. And in the next and upcoming notice, which was issued on April 13th, that order from the insurance commissioner is a real help for all of us, which will provide refund premiums to drivers and businesses affected by the COVID-19 emergency. While the shelter in place is in effect, the Commissioner of Insurance has issued an order to insurance companies for premium relief as a result of the downtime we're all experiencing here. So in the personalized insurance, on that side, those carriers that are offering the premium relief is a real community support. Here are some of the highlights that we're looking at from the aspect of personal auto. We are seeing fewer drivers. We're seeing less traffic due to these shelter-in-place orders, and because of that, the personal auto insurance customers are receiving an average of a 15% refund, which would be about from the 2 months of their auto insurance premium, based on the premium just on those 2 months, and that is as of April 7th, 2020, as we're seeing here. Those refunds will be coming. If you guys have not seen them already or are getting them already, is a real big help for all of us. The personalized insurance carriers that we're seeing participate in one way or another are all major carriers, such as Progressive, State Farm, Infinity, Farmers, and so most of them are on board with this, and we're glad to see that they're offering a premium relief in one form or another. For those that are holding a commercial auto, or if you own a business auto policy, you will also receive premium relief as well. So check with your carrier. And right here, I'll go ahead and hand it off to Alfredo.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm going to be covering insurance coverage changes. So due to COVID-19, our insurance industry is facing a lot of changes due to how businesses are being now handled and how they operate. So on April 10th, 2020, the insurance commissioner, Lara, extended the auto insurance coverage to delivery drivers. So this order that the insurance commissioner ordered basically applies to restaurants or any other business that uses their drivers to deliver their products to their consumers. So what this basically means is that the drivers who drive and deliver their products while operating in their jobs, they will be able to be covered under their personal insurance on their vehicles. So this changes the policy wording for restaurants that are now doing delivery or other retail places or grocery stores that are also delivering their products to their customers. Workers' compensation insurance is also being widely spoken about since since there are many things that policyholders are able to do to reduce premium costs in their policies. So originally, workers' compensation policies are estimated with a estimated annual payroll. So in order to modify the policy, you have the opportunity to lower your payroll or adjust your payroll according to what you estimate that the new payroll for your employees will be due to COVID-19. You also will be able to change your policy to monthly payroll reporting if that is an option that you would benefit from. So it's important for you to understand the different methods of how you could adjust your workers' compensation policy, since that will have a premium impact, and you will be also impacted severely regarding your monthly payments for your policy.
Thank you, Alfredo. I want to talk about now COVID-19 solutions. So there's a couple things out here that policies that have come out. One is suspended operations coverage. Companies are coming out with what I would call a skinny policy. This is a policy for a business that is currently shut down because of civil order, and will cover just some basic coverages. And so the business owner does not have to pay excessive premiums during this time. And they have a lot of variations of this product, but some of them will cover just, again, almost if the place was vacant, but the costs are low cost policies that may provide an answer for many business owners that are currently closed. The next thing that we want to talk about is something really important, cyber insurance. A lot of people say, well, what is cyber coverage? Well, today, it says that over 43% of businesses that have been affected by some type of cyber crime. These are breaches that have hit businesses in different ways. As more people are using the internet, telework, working from home, working remote, all of these things have created a very large opportunity for the bad guys in the dark web to get in to good companies like yours. So one of the things that we are looking at in terms of coverage is cyber insurance. So let's talk about what is cyber coverage and what does it do. So on one side of the box, you'll see on the right-hand side, it says, what is first-party cyber insurance coverage? And what that really does is it covers many things. When a company's hacked, there are many things that have to happen. Number one, by law, there's client communication. You need to advise your clients and your customers that you've been breached. There's credit monitoring. There's forensic service. A lot of people don't understand that once there is a breach in a company, it can get very expensive. A good cyber investigation, meaning somebody that is adequately trained and has a certification to look at what happened in your system, it costs minimum of $10,000 to $15,000 just for the investigation. And then there's a public relations component to it. Also, loss of income if you're, for whatever reason, that cyber crime has closed your business and caused you loss of income because of perhaps the website or other parts of your operation. There's also what we call the famous ransomware extortion. So this policy will actually have somebody negotiate with those who are the extortioners, because I guess they have the same language. And then third party, this is what happens in the event that you're breached, but then through that breach, other people are infected and cause losses to their system. One of the classic is where an email is breached, your email system is breached, let's say your Outlook system, and it sends out emails to your customers telling them to send money to you, or maybe services that are owed, and your customer sends it out to somebody else, to somebody in, again, the dark web, and loses that money. We had a case that was over $100,000 where there was that email that went out from apparently the right person, had everything that looked legitimate, and it even had the banking, which was similar, but it went out to the dark web. The company lost $100,000. Now, that company that lost it is retaliating and asking for its money back. And one of their claims is that the client that was breached didn't notify, didn't do due diligence to protect their system. So this is becoming more and more prevalent. Coverage is pretty inexpensive. We've seen, depending on the size of the firm, as low as $1,000 to maybe $2,500 a year for $500,000 or $1 million worth of coverage. Something to consider in this environment. Now, again, one of the things that we want to talk about key risk is websites, employee remoting, working remote, media, multimedia content, transfer of funds. These are all cyber extortion. These are all things that are important and that are at risk. I want to thank you for watching our today's video. Risco has a YouTube channel. The address is right there. We have several very important videos, all related to how businesses can navigate through this time. I want to also let you know that we have a new video that is on our YouTube channel, preparing for your business to reopen after COVID-19 outbreak. So it's going to be a lot of really important topics, as in California, we're in stage 2, and then, you know, within a short time, hopefully a short time, we'll be in phase 3. These are really important things that require all employers to know, and what adjustments they need to know how to take. So once again, we want to thank you for listening in. I want to thank Jerry and Alfredo for being with us. Yeah, our contact information, if you want to contact us, is right there on the screen. You can talk to us by phone, or there's an email address or our website. So once again, thank you. And just remember, one of my favorite mottos, two things I'd like to close with, and I close after all these videos, that real positive change never comes during times of ease, but always will come in times of crisis. So let's look at this as not as just an obstacle, but an opportunity. And the last thing, and I think the most important thing, is what we find in our dollar bill. Every dollar bill you have has the same language in currency in English. It says, "In God we trust." So we must not focus on the virus, but in what that subscription says right there, "In God we trust." All right, thank you once again for watching our video with Risco Insurance.